Hi everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video, and happy Wheel of Time Wednesday. That must mean it's news day. Of course, we're going to talk about Wheel of Time news tonight. There's been some major kind of rumblings going on the last week or so, including some mistakes by major publishers and publications, and maybe they gave away a little bit more information than they possibly should, and they had to retract some things. We're going to talk about all of that, plus we're going to talk about some older stuff. So this VFX article you see here, that was from early Jan. We're going to talk about that just a smidge. And then make sure you don't miss my second video that's coming out later on this evening about Rafe's AMA. Now, he did one this morning with Empire Podcast. It's behind a paywall, but of course we're going to talk about it here. I'll highlight all the most pertinent and important parts from it. And we're going to talk about the things he said about Season 2. Yeah, he said some things about Season 2, and they're pretty interesting, so make sure you don't miss that video. Then later on this evening, I'm going to be on the Dusty Wheel with Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern and Matt the Innkeeper. We're going to talk Wheel of Time, maybe some of the AMA, and we're going to announce the Watt Parody Song Challenge Season 2. For those of you who don't know what this is, and maybe you can't watch the Dusty Wheel later, the rules and the form to apply are all down in the description box of the video here. I've left it there for you guys to look at. But essentially, you make a parody song, you sing it, you perform it, or you get someone else to sing it, someone else to perform it, and you submit it by March 15th to enter a bunch of prizes, and then we do live voting on all of the songs. It's a whole lot of fun. We did it last year. Make sure you check that out. Again, the rules and whatnot are down below in a link in the description box, but watch my socials, my Twitter, my Instagram. We're going to talk about it a lot there. All right, so if you're new to the channel and you really don't know what I do here, I cover Wheel of Time show news, if that wasn't already obvious. So if you like Wheel of Time content, make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell. Now, before we actually get into the video, spoiler warning. In this video, we're talking Wheel of Time show news. Although we're not going to spoil anything from the book series, we are going to talk about certain elements of Season 2, and I'm going to make some predictions. Now, if these predictions happen to be even a little bit correct, I do want to apologize in advance. So that's why I'm giving just a very minimal spoiler warning for this. If you haven't read the books or seen the show at all, it's not a huge deal. But if I'm right about some things, well, I might spoil that for you. All right, all of that being said, let's get on to the video. All right, so we're going to talk about this Art of VFX article. It's an interview with Julian Perry. He's the overall VFX supervisor for the Wheel of Time. Now, this is an older article, came out January 4th of this year, so I'm not exactly on the ball when it comes to this one. I missed it. And as most of you who watch the channel regularly know, I was really critical of the VFX for basically the entire show, but especially episodes 7 and 8. I really didn't like it. I hate CGI. I'm a big practical effects person, and I didn't enjoy the very obvious, in my opinion, low-quality CGI that we saw in episodes 7 and 8. Although this article does highlight some of the reasons why that happened, and it does make a little bit more sense to me. So the article basically talks about a lot of the creatures they did, the big Trolloc army for episode 8 and 7, a lot of the magic, things like that, but then it highlights some of the challenges they faced, because Rafe Judkins wanted to be very VFX light up until, the end of episode 6, and then they got shut down. So there was a break for COVID, and then after they came back, they were in a rush. They had to film a bunch of things, rewrite the scripts. There was a lot of changes, and it became suddenly very VFX intense and heavy, and they were the last 2 episodes. So they had a short window of time to do post between, the end of filming, which ended about June or so, and the release of the show, because we all know that they didn't finish the VFX a week before the show released in November, so they had a short window there, and they had a whole lot to do. So it talks about third-party vendors, the challenges they faced in finding these people that could do this, and the amount of sheer volume of work they had to put out in a short period of time. So again, like I said earlier, I was pretty critical of the VFX, and that hasn't changed. I'm not giving them a pass in any way, shape, or form, and luckily the VFX budget has been greatly increased for Season 2, but this does highlight some of the reasons for it, and it makes some things make a little bit more sense. All right, now we're going to talk about a deadline article. I've left a link to this article down below in the description box. Now, I want to stress something here. This article is not the original article. So it came out, and during this article, it's basically talking about Daniel Henney and how he may not return for Criminal Minds, basically because he's contracted for the Wheel of Time for multiple seasons. So the way the article was originally worded, it sounded like they were absolutely confirming Season 3 for sure, and maybe possibly Season 4 as well. Now, there's been a ton, and I'm talking a ton of circumstantial evidence confirming them for at least Season 3, and that includes the fact that Alexander Karim, according to my sources, will be back on set in Season 3, so why would they contract an actor to come back unless, of course, they're actually going to film the season? And for those of you who don't know, he plays Luz Theron. So quite possible Season 3. My guess is we're probably almost 100% going to see Season 3. although there's been no official announcement or confirmation from Amazon. And Season 4 was kind of a surprise because it's very early for that. But after this article came out, of course, they did some scrambling. They retracted it. And it says they've been picked up for an additional season, and any guest appearance at Criminal Minds will be subject to his commitment to wheel time and scheduling. So this additional season they're talking about is Season 3, so they've kind of cut it down to, all right, we'll talk about Season 3, but we're not going to talk about Season 4 because I think they made a boo-boo. Either one of two things happened here. Either they were told for sure they're renewed for Season 3 and 4, and they made a mistake in the article, or someone was a little overzealous when they're typing it and worded it incorrectly, and of course, us in the fandom jumped on it and inferred things that maybe, perhaps, weren't actually there. Either way, we're almost up to the point now where it talks about definitely having a Season 3 and quite possibly having a Season 4. So again, this article is not the original article I've linked down below because that is long gone. However, it has been edited to reflect the fact that it's an additional season rather than multiple seasons. So, still pretty interesting, and I think a major boo-boo on Deadline's part. All right, so the last piece of news I have for you comes from watchseries.com. If you don't know who they are a fantastic real-time news source. They have a really great website. They're well-researched, well-thought-out, and they're friends of mine. So make sure you go over, click the link to the article down below in the description box, support them, bookmark their page, and check back all of the time. And I will let you know they have not been wrong once, so they always have really good information over there. Now, this particular article talks about a couple of things. The first is they got a scoop where they found out they were filming at Chateau Karlova Corona. Probably said that wrong. I do apologize if I did. But it is an absolutely beautiful place. Now, we do know for sure they're filming Block 4 of Season 2 right now. So that's Episodes 7 and 8, because we know there's 8 episodes in Season 2. Now, I've theorized that they're going to finish filming around the end of February a couple of times so far, but this article from WhatSeries.com is basically saying that they're probably going to end up filming until March of this year, which is, it's pretty close to what I said. So I'm absolutely happy with that. So that definitely puts them in filming Episodes 7 and 8. If you take a look at this picture of the chateau, that definitely gives me Andorian Royal Palace vibes, although it really honestly could be any royal palace or any royal hall. But we do know for sure we're getting Elaine, Gowan, and Glad in Season 3. Elaine has been actually confirmed by the showrunner, and my sources have confirmed that we're going to see Gowan and Glad sometime probably mid-season at the latest. So if they're filming Episodes 7 and 8, it's quite possible this could be the Andorian Royal Palace, although I really have no idea. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think this is? What are they filming for Episodes 7 and 8? Could this possibly be part of Falme and the end of the second season, which picks up around, we think, the end of The Great Hunt? Maybe, could it be Tyr? Could it be parts of the third book, The Dragon Reborn? I have no idea. I want to hear all your thoughts and theories down below. All right, so that's pretty much all the news I have for you today. Again, like I mentioned at the first of the episode, make sure you tune in later on to my Rafe AMA video. I'm going to talk about all the pertinent points he brought up there about Season 2 and Wheel of Time. And don't forget to watch me in the Dusty Wheel later on this evening. Thank you so very much for sticking with me here to the very end. Here's to many more.